Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. So, I'm coming to you today to talk about generational curses, bro. So, let me break down what a generational curse is. Generational curses are basically when you just keep on going into this family cycle over and over and over again, and you're not letting go of those family members that are toxic or who don't have your best interests at heart. So this journey is not easy at all. I can tell you from personal experience, I have been through this and I am still working through it. But again, we always talk about boundaries, and I made sure that I set that boundary so that I could myself break those generational curses. And I see myself doing that almost every single day. So dealing with generational curses and making sure that you take all that toxicity out of your life is just the first step of your process in your personal growth. And so let's just take a deeper dive into the path and how we can just take away that negative generational curse that's basically on all of us. All right, let's go. All right, so let me break it down further for you on how to understand and identify when you are dealing with generational curses. So the definition that I pulled up from Google is generational curses are patterns of beliefs, behavior, and traumas that are passed down from one generation to the next. These can include things like addiction, abuse, financial instability, and even toxic relationship dynamics. Recognizing these patterns are the first thing that you need to identify when you're trying to break that generational curse. So the first step in identifying and acknowledging these patterns is you need to reflect on your family history. You have to go back deep. I know back in that red door, you got to knock on it and you got to open it up, because this is the only way that you're able to take that step and that leap into healing yourself and that trauma. So you want to make sure that you either get a book or write something down, and it says that we need to identify what these patterns are. And what do you notice every single time when you go around them? How do you feel? What is the energy when you're in their presence? And are there any reoccurring issues that you seem to always fall into when dealing with those family members? And then you want to make sure that you understand these emotions that you're feeling. You want to make sure that you acknowledge them. And once you acknowledge them, then you can take the next step. All right, so we're on to number 2. Even though that I am a certified life wellness coach, I would like to say that you may have to seek out some professional help, bro. Yeah. I can tell you from my past experience that I have also sought. Sorry about the dog in the background. He's having his own emotional breakdown. Funny part is he's an emotional support dog certified. Yeah. But anyway, before I was interrupted, you want to make sure that you seek some kind of professional help. Either that is a therapist or going to support groups. And with these entities, they can help you in identifying, establishing, and even creating some coping techniques and goals to make sure that you change the way that you're thinking and your thought process of dealing with these different traumas that you have dealt with in your childhood. One thing that they may, if you go to a professional counselor, therapist, whomever, what they may do is a technique called, or therapy called CBT. And that is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a trauma-focused type of therapy, which will allow you to take those negative ways of thinking and we're going to turn those into positives. So if your generational curse is to the max and it is so overwhelming that you can't deal with it on your own, either through, journaling and things like that, you may have to seek professional help. All right, so number 3, and that is setting boundaries. We already know that is our main thing that we do each and every time I come on here. What do I always say? What's the magic word of the day? Boundaries. Yes, setting those boundaries definitely can help you in your journey, and so that you can protect yourself from all the negativity that goes on throughout your life. Dude, of course we had to deal with our trauma, dealing with growing up. We had to deal with trauma, dealing with work, dealing with relationships and things like that. So what we want to do is make sure that we set our boundaries and that we communicate those boundaries, and we also tell those people that are disrespecting us or not just being ill. You need to tell them, like, dude, get the fuck away from me, or stop with the bullshit. Yes, you can say it like that. You don't always have to be in a nice way. Oh, stop playing with me. No, get the fuck away from me. You're the cause of some of these issues that I'm having. Point blank. All right, let's carry on to number 4. I cannot stress enough about letting go of those toxic ass family members, bro. Let them go. Let them have their own misery. Let them do what they do. Like, yes, it's going to hurt, and you're going to go through these guilt trips, but your emotional and your mental health is your main priority. You. Because if you are not feeling well, how the hell are you going to heal? How? Or how can you help somebody else? Or how can you get in these relationships or even raise your own family? So we have to make sure that we take that step into letting that shit go. Like, with that creepy uncle and shit, and oh, come here, babe, touch, give me a hug. No. The fuck? If your kids don't want to hug them, don't hug them, because he probably has a history of touching on whatever. I'm just saying. But we know how things go in families. They already know that Uncle so-and-so is just downright nasty, and he done did some shit from in the past. Feel me? Yeah. Let's keep it going. And you want to make sure that, you do grieve that loss of breaking up with your family. I've done it. It's kind of hard. But at the same time, I feel much better because I don't feel obligated to take on that dumb shit that they were doing. It happens. Fuck. And then you want to make sure that you have the steps of letting go. The steps of letting go from those people is limit your contact or just break communication altogether. I'm not telling you to do that, but these are some steps, and this is what helped me. So whatever is good for you, you go ahead and do. These are just basic generalized things. If you were dealing with a friend and that friend disrespected you, what you do? You cut their ass off. As Doug says. Yep. Cut their ass off. Then the second one is you want to make sure that you seek new support systems. Either that is your therapist, yes, or you get an emotional support, Doug. Yeah, him. Or you go to these support groups. You go out and you try to, see how things feel when you're out mingling with new people and networking. Try to find that positive energy, that positive vibe. All right, number 5. You want to make sure that you focus on your healing and your growth. That means doing your self-care routines. Some people be like, oh, so you just go and cut your phone off on do not disturb. You goddamn right. Because I mentally and emotionally have to detox because we already go through so much in the world. So Make sure that you are on top of your self-care, even if that is taking 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then keep on going from there until you can take a whole day to yourself. The next thing you want to do is you want to forgive and move on. Once you forgive those family members for the trauma that they have caused, then you can move on. Again, I'm always going to repeat it. You can stay in that for just a second, acknowledge it, and let that shit go. Let it go. It's no longer serving you, and it's only hurting and hindering you. And you will never get past that if you keep on just going in that same vicious cycle, as Doug just said. Okay? So basically, you want to think about your future. You want to think about the positives. And I bet you if you start cutting out all that negative and, people blaming you and the trauma that you have dealt with, going through either your journaling processes, your meditation, doing your self-care, or even going to therapy, seeking professional help, you will in the future feel much better about yourself, and you will be more confident. And this is building confidence as well. Because once you achieve that goal of letting go of those generational curses, you can go on and you can create your own with your own family. And I believe I said this before, but just because we're family, that does not mean that we relate. Trust and believe. So, I want to say thank you for tuning in and listening to me in my TED Talk. But I do appreciate every one of you. And if no one has said it today or yesterday, just remember that I care for you. I love you. I'm here for you. And y'all have a beautiful Monday. And let's start this week off right. Until next time. Bye, y'all.